I've been smoking for 35 years. Ain't no one gonna tell me what to do.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today, I have another acid story for you guys. I know, another one. Well, I have a lot of acid stories, so I might as well just start pumping these out. Alright, so this story takes place in 2024, in July, the July 6th of 2024. Check it out. So, this story starts with me kind of coming back to God. I was practicing a lot of meditation. I was reading a lot, literally. Like I started trying to get to the spirit world after my freshman year of college, which meant a lot of meditation, a lot of education. But I was also addicted to weed, which kind of made it hard to focus. And then I had an argument with my sister, which is a story for another time. And that pissed me off so much that I'm like, dude, I hate my sister so fucking much that I need to be rich. Like, I need to make money so I could spite her, flex in her face, and buy all my family nice stuff so I could just not give her anything and say, fuck you. Obviously, I mean, well, it's not obvious, but that hate didn't last. But still, that's how I was feeling. So I started reading. I started cutting out all pleasure. I stopped smoking weed instantly because I was just so pissed at her. My anger for her was just so deep that I cut off all BS. And I started reading a lot and trying to improve myself spiritually. And then one day I just started reading the Bible, which is another story. It deserves its own video. But after I started reading the Bible, my faith in Christ was like renewed, and I went from agnostic to believer of Christ. Like, I don't know if Christian's their correct term because like that's not biblical. It says that we're saints. So I actually prefer the term saint, and I am sola scriptura, which means that you like believe in what the Bible says 100%. So yeah. But anyway, that's kind of the vibe that I was on. And one day I just decide like, dude, I want to do some acid. Like, yeah, so basically I hit the plug up. I'm like, yo, do you have any acid? And surprisingly she texted me back pretty fast and she's like, yeah, can you meet me at this place? And I'm like, totally. So I'm trying to get over to San Marcos, but I need a ride. So I asked my mom. She's like, no, because I didn't tell her, but somehow she knew I was going there to get drugs. I'm like, hey, can I go to the library? She's like, absolutely not. I already know what you're going down there for, and I will not support you in this. So I'm like, damn. So I asked my stepdad behind her back, and he already knew that I was like, he already knew what I wanted, even though I told him I'm trying to go to the library. But he took me anyway, being the chill person that he is. So, we hopped over there. I met her at the smoke shop. She actually walked like 2 miles because she didn't have a car either. Her apartment was like 2 miles away from downtown where the smoke shop was. And she literally walked 2 miles from me, bro. W friend. And she sold me 2 tabs for like, I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks. I just remember like, oh my goodness, man, like she's walking all this way. She's not even gonna charge me extra. Like, bro, W friend. So yeah, she sells me the tabs, and I've got like about an hour before my stepdad's supposed to pick me up. And I'm thinking like, bro, like, damn, what am I about to do? And she asked me if I want to come over. And she specifically mentions that her boyfriend's not home. And in my head, I'm thinking like, dude, like, why is she telling me that? She could have just invited me over and just let me assume that he was over. Like, she specifically brought that up. And I'm thinking, damn, am I about to crack right now? Because, she wasn't a bad looking girl. So, unfortunately, this is what I was doing. Like, yeah, I know it looks bad, but I mean, it's just the truth. So, um, yeah, I start walking back with her to this place, and we start talking about just trips that we've had and stuff. And like 10 minutes into the walk, I'm thinking, bro, what if I just pop this tab, dude? What if I just pop one of these tabs right now? And she's like, that probably wouldn't be a good idea. I look at her, I'm like, oh yeah, watch this. And I think I just kind of pinched half of the tab off, put the other half back in the foil, and I took it. It was a gel tab. Gel tabs are the best. It's a green gel tab. So yeah, I popped it, and I'm not feeling anything. And then we kind of get like halfway, and I'm thinking like, dude, it is incredibly hot. It's the middle of July. There's no trees around. We have no water, and I'm getting thirsty. Like, I'm not gonna make it. And if I start tripping out with no water, I might die. So I literally like stop. We stop under some like shed thing, and there's some shade around there. And I sit down, and I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna have to see you later because I'm not gonna make it. Um, let's just call her what? Velma. Yeah, that's a good name, Velma. So Velma tells me, "Oh, are you sure you don't like we have water at my place?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's like it's another at least another mile and a half, and I'm not gonna make it. Like I need water right now. I have no more money left for anything. I gave you the last of my money for these tabs, so I'm cooked right now." And she's like, "Okay, well." This is the last time that I might see you because I'm moving to Colorado next week, and that just like instantly made me sad because like I really liked hanging out with her, and she's just moving out to Colorado. Like, damn. And a funny story, Velma would actually end up moving back in January of 2025, and I would see her while I was there with one of my buddies at the same smoke shop that she sold me the acid, and we would hang out for like the next 6 months on and off. And she would we did have one acid trip together, and then she would move back to Colorado, like literally. No, it was like 8 months. She moved back in August, so it was like a year ago from like today, basically. So yeah, so this was the first time she was doing that. I thought I would never see her again, so I'm like, damn, all right, well, it was nice knowing you. That's literally my exact words, and I start walking back to the I walked back to the library on campus at Texas State. So walking back, and eventually my stepdad picks me up. My mom's in the car. They don't say anything. I come back with some books because obviously I had to like make it look like I was going to the library. So I checked out some books. I think I got a book on Buddhism, and I forgot what the other one was about. But they were for the mind. It wasn't just I don't read for fun, except for when I was in jail. But like outside of jail, I am not reading for fun, dude. I'm only reading for knowledge. Like you will not catch me with a book in my hands, bro. Anyway, so yeah, they take me back home, and on the way home, we stop at what was it, Walmart, and I immediately have some my headphones in. I start to feel like the acid kicking in. I'm like, oh shit. I need to stay in the car. Like I knew I was gonna be okay because I just took the tabs. I didn't smoke any weed. It was half a tab. Like I knew I was gonna be okay, but I'm like, probably not a good idea to go inside the store. I just want to chill, listen to some music, kind of just wait it out. And that's what I did. And we get home. I'm already like feeling it on the inside of me. I go in my room, I turn some music on. I actually had Nirvana Greatest Hits CD and a CD player in my room. So I just popped that in. I'm just listening to that. And oh my goodness, it was pretty nice. Like just the vibe and of the room, the lighting, the music, everything was just hitting perfectly. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, dude, I'm ugly. I'm like a monster. I'm like, ew. Now, in like real life and sober life, I'm not ugly. All right. I'm never going to tell myself that ever again. But on this trip, I just actually looked ugly. My face was like deformed and I was a monster. And it's probably like a rule number 3 or 4 or 6 or 7. But you're not supposed to look in the mirror when you're taking acid. Just one of the rules. And I broke that rule, and that's what I get. Anyway, I eat some ice cream. I'm watching this show called Dinosaurs, which came out in the 90s. It's on Disney Plus. If you have not seen this show, you have to watch this show, dude. This show is peak television. It is literally groundbreaking, in my top 3 shows of all time, because of the messages and the topics that it talks about. It's an extremely deep show with the surface level of a freaking dinosaur in like a Jim Henson Dinosaur Sesame Street kind of show, you know. And when I'm out of this season of being sober and I start smoking weed again, like, because I'm not opposed to smoking weed. Like, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. So, you know, it's all right to stop right now and, you know, kind of just take a break from it, stop being a slave to it. And then, you know, maybe I know I'm eventually going to get back into it. But right now, I'm just really trying to enjoy my sobriety, because it's been like since I've been able to live like this, where I don't feel like I need weed every day to live. And it's like going to jail was a blessing, because I really felt like I needed some kind of substance before that to get me through the day. Like, I couldn't even get through an hour of life without being like on something. Like, literally a month before I would say literally 3 months before I went to jail, I was just fiending after fiending after fiend. Like, I could not exist in a sober state of mind. So definitely got to have self-control if you're going to smoke weed. But back to the story. So I'm back in my bed. I'm watching the show called Dinosaurs, and I go to sleep. I fall asleep. I wake up the next morning. I start my day with some prayer and meditation. Wow, Sebastian, that's crazy. You started your day with prayer and meditation, and you're smoking weed and doing acid and trying to hook up with girls who sell you drugs. I'm like, yeah, I'm not perfect. You know, at this point, I'm like an infant. Oh man, I hate using the word Christian, but I'm just gonna say it so that you guys can understand it that way. Yeah, so after, you know, taking this acid and actually feeling the effects after an hour and a half, I get up, I go into the master bedroom across the hall, which is my parents' room. I go into the bathroom, and I'm just looking at myself in the mirror like, dude, I feel it right now. Yeah, I could feel it, but I need to go deeper. Like, I'm in shallow waters right now. I'm in the kiddie pool. I need to go dive, bro. I can't stay like this. I gotta go deeper. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So, you know, this was kind of like the proverbial slaying the dragon, and it was kind of relevant at the time because I was working on this art piece that was kind of akin to, you have any fuck if anyone has seen The Hobbit from, I think it was 1977, the animated movie where, you know, it starts with Bilbo hitting the freaking pot, and then freaking Gandalf comes out of nowhere trying to hit the cart or something. Bro, that's I was kind of doing that, but I was also drawing Smaug from that movie, and that was what was in my head. I'm like, dude, I have to slay the proverbial dragon inside of my head. So that's what I did. I decided I'm gonna have to have some courage doing this. So I go downstairs, and mind you, I haven't smoked in a literal month, so I have no tolerance is ass, bro. So I go downstairs. I ask my stepdad, like, he's always smoking weed, like literally every day, bro. So I'm like, yo, can I hit that? And he's like, absolutely. Cause he'd been asking me like literally like at least once a week if I wanted if I wanted to like smoke with him, because that's like kind of what we would do. But I'd always tell him like, no, I'm good. Like I'm gonna go back to reading now. I was actually being a good kid, dude. Like what the heck? I was actually being pretty responsible at this time. Not that I am. Like I definitely went through some unresponsible phases after this, but this was actually like looking back, this was really mature of me to do. Um, so yeah, we started like just smoking. I think the Super Bowl is on or something with football. I think it was like a draft or something. I don't know. But what I did know was that the commercials, every time the commercials came on, they were louder than the actual like TV like program itself. So that's important for later. So we're smoking. I've hit the blunt about 3 or 4 times, so pass it back about that many times as well. And I'm just letting him rant. And, we're just talking about politics and the state of the world. And like we just instantaneously started talking about theology at the same time. And I was just so interested. It was just so interesting. And then I kept on looping. My thoughts kept on looping for some reason. And then all of a sudden, I feel this like deep wave of fear, thick wave of fear, bro. Thicker than like all the female rappers put together, dude. So thick, it just whopped me in the face, dude. And I immediately like, oh, and everything intensifies. I could literally feel like on a different level. Like, dude, how can I explain this accurately? Imagine like, man, I gotta stop saying like so much, up my vocabulary. Imagine your senses are at base level, which they are, and you just like touch a piece of paper like so. Now imagine multiplying your your sense of touch by 2, and then by 3, and then by 4, and then by 100. What would a sense of touch that's 100? What would that feel like? What would a sense of sight that's 2? What multiplied by 2? What would that look like if it was 100? What if your sense of, I think there's like way more than 5 and 6 senses. I think like there's like a 7th sense where you can feel energy coming off of someone, and it's so very faint when you're sober, but when you're on weed, you can feel it a little bit more. Or I mean, if you exercise this sense, then it's going to get stronger. You don't have to be in an altered state of mind to do it. I would say it's akin to like a salamander who lives in dark. Like they have eyes, but they don't use them, so they're so weak. It's like a muscle that you have to work out. And then now this 7th sense is it's like feeling like the energy coming off someone. Like you could say their aura, even though that has like a different meaning today. But this is more like a feeling. Like when someone says you have a dark energy or a good vibe around you, that's kind of what they're referring to. So I could feel my stepdad's aura. I could feel his energy extremely intimately. Like no gay shit, bro. It's like oh man, how do I put it? I don't think intimate's the right word, but it was just such a personal like feeling that I could feel his energy. So like when he was like in a hat, when his tone was happy, I could feel that emulating off of him. And then when he was talking about the state of the world and how bad things were and all these conspiracy theories, I started feeling dark, negative energy, bro. And it was like a human looking at me, but at the same time, it was like a monster was looking at me. And I did not recognize his humanity, and that started freaking me out. And I held my chest, and I like threw myself back into the couch, and I'm like, I have to tell you something. And then he just keeps on talking over me. He's like, no, wait, because he does that a lot, bro. It's freaking crazy. But I was gonna come clean to him, like, look, let's call him Bob. Bob, look, I took acid and I lied to you, and I went to San Marcos to get acid and not just books. And right now I'm tripping out so hard. Like I need help. But he just would not let me talk, dude. He just kept on talking and he kept on talking over me. And I just let this nigga talk, bro. I just let him go at it. I'm like, okay. Um, and then my thoughts started looping over and over again. And then you know what I said about the commercials, right? On the TV, the NFL commercials. I think yes, it was the NFL draft. So this draft, every time the commercials would come on, the audio would multiply by like two, and my like senses would just zone in. All I could hear is this loud audio, and everything else around me goes silent, and it's extremely freaky. But this whole time, instead of just letting the trip just drown me and wash me over and get and carry me away, I'm like, no, fight the dragon. Do not be succumb to the fear. And surprisingly, guys, like it actually worked. Even though I felt like I was in another dimension. Like imagine going to the upside down, and then just going like one more parallel dimension over to that, and then going out of that upside down into another world, and it's kind of like Earth, but it's not at the same time, and it feels less like Earth than it does feel like Earth. And it was just it felt like a forbidden place to be, kind of like if you're like on DMT and you're tripping and then you see the machine elves and they're like all welcoming, but then you keep on coming back and they eventually kick you out because you're not supposed to be there and you can never trip DMT again because they take your abilities away. That's kind of how it is. It's like a whole nother world that's just right beneath the surface. Anyway, so I start to, feel the waves of fear just keep on trying to overcome me, but I am not letting it, like, I am not backing down. And I'm listening to my stepdad. I'm seeing like after images of his hand wave, and I'm tripping extremely hard at this point. Easily top 5 trips I've ever had. But it wasn't like, there were some really rough parts, but it wasn't like I was completely debilitated. Like I was for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, but it's not like I spent like 30 hours tripping in a 6-hour trip. Like it wasn't like a time warp or anything. It was just extremely intense. It was extremely intense, dude. Um, Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to make a part 2 of this video because this is an hour and 7 minutes long, and I literally have a 12-hour shift that I have to go to work. I have to be at work at like in less than 7 hours, so I need to get some sleep. So I'm gonna have to make a part 2, part 3, part 4, but it's all good. That's just more videos for me to make. So yeah, tune in for the next episode, and peace.